Hello everybody and welcome into this Hoosier Sports Night update. I'm your host, Casey Richards. Now who could forget the last Indiana-Purdue matchup in Bloomington? Austin Starr's game-winning field goal gave the Hoosiers the bucket for the first time since 2001 while clinching their first bowl berth since 1993. This year's matchup had a little less on the line as both squads came in at 4-7. However, when it comes to this rivalry, bragging rights are always on the line, especially after last year's 62-10 drubbing in West Lafayette. Purdue senior quarterback Joey Elliott starting his first and final bucket game for the Boilermakers. First possession, Ben Chappell drops back to pass and he is sacked by Purdue defensive end Ryan Kerrigan. The ball pops loose and it is covered by Kawan Short. Purdue is in business early. Shortly thereafter, Elliott swings it out to Jason Taylor for a 6-yard touchdown pass. Purdue is on top of Indiana 7-0 early in this one. Second quarter now, Purdue is up 14-0 after another Elliott touchdown pass. Chappell turns the ball over again, this time in the form of an interception to Purdue's Torrey Williams. He has run out of bounds around midfield. That is the first of 2 interceptions on the evening for Chappell. Now IU has struggled all season long to turn turnovers into points, but Purdue didn't have that problem in this one as Elliott finds Jared Crank for a 13-yard touchdown. Purdue is up 21-0 late in the second quarter. However, the Hoosiers, just as they have all season, would battle back. This year's team is different from ones in the past. Evans with a catch right there down to the goal line, and then Ben Chappell runs it in. Indiana is within 14 at 21-7 going into the half. So the Hoosiers have all the momentum, right? Well, that would be until Al Tariq McBurst returns the opening kickoff of the second half, 87 yards for a touchdown. Purdue is up 28-7. Indiana also missed 2 field goals in this one, so special teams definitely an area of concern for the Hoosiers. However, once again, they just kept battling. 4th and 5 now late in the third quarter. Chappell finds Mitchell Evans again, this time for a 12-yard touchdown pass. Evans had 10 catches on the evening, including that touchdown. And then Indiana again, now in the fourth quarter. Chappell completes it to DeMarlo Belcher, a 28-yard touchdown pass. Indiana is within 10. However, Purdue now with the ball after another Chappell interception, and this would just about seal it up. Elliott to Keith Smith on the screen pass for a 31-yard touchdown pass. Elliott had a career-high 4 touchdowns. Purdue wins the bucket for the 7th time in the past 8 years. Here's Ronan O'Shea with more.
Nearly 2 years to the date of one of the most important wins in Indiana school history, Bill Lynch and the Hoosiers have hit rock bottom. Saturday's 38-21 season-ending loss to Purdue not only gave the Boilermakers consecutive Oaken bucket wins, but also cemented Indiana's last-place finish in Big Ten play.
Shoot, if you play at Indiana, you want to finish it with a win in the bucket, just like their kids are celebrating down there, and that's what makes college football a great game, and that's what makes a rivalry game great.
As disappointed as it is because we didn't reach our goals this year, and we felt like if we got this win, then it could be a little something that we could build off of.
You work so hard for, I don't know, what is it, 9 months to play 12 games, and hopefully 13, and it's just, that's how it goes sometimes. You know, you don't always get what you want.
And like so many times this year, missed opportunities plagued IU. The Hoosiers committed 4 turnovers, missed both field goal attempts, and allowed an 87-yard kickoff return for a score as Purdue won its 7th game in 8 years against Indiana.
I feel like we just need to execute. I mean, we had the turnover, we missed a couple field goals. We just got to execute better in those situations. I mean, we got ourselves in a pretty deep hole there.
We knew we can play with them. You know, we just didn't capitalize in the red zone, and they had great field position. So there's a couple things, and on special teams where it didn't really help us out. Tonight,
I don't think we necessarily played well enough for 4 quarters to win the game. So disappointing, but something you got to live with now. So.
And that is something that Indiana fans have been dealing with for a long time. Coach Lynch, at what point do you assess your entire coaching staff and determine that while some progress is being made, it just isn't good enough?
Yeah, and I know we're judged by wins and losses, but I know what's going on the inside, and we're heading in the right direction.
As another disappointing football season comes to close here at Indiana University, it is fair to question the job security of Indiana head football coach Bill Lynch. Now, Lynch does remain under contract through the 2011 football season. However, in the last 2 years, his Hoosiers have won just 7 games. They ended this season on a 5-game losing streak, and in consecutive season-ending losses to rival Purdue, the Boilermakers have outscored the Hoosiers 100-31.
Ben Chappell's was consistent with most of his others this season, throwing for 266 yards and 2 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions as well. Running back Darius Willis gained 142 yards on 19 carries to conclude his sensational freshman season. All in all, 21 Hoosier seniors played in their final game, wrapping up careers that featured many highs and lows. Here's more from Memorial Stadium. The 2009 Battle for the Old Oaken Bucket featured 2 teams that had already been eliminated from postseason competition. Therefore, 21 Hoosier seniors took part in their final collegiate contest, a 38-21 defeat at the hands of the Purdue Boilermakers.
I'm really disappointed for the seniors because I know how hard they worked, and I know what all they went through in their careers here. But shoot, if you play at Indiana, you want to finish it with a win in the bucket.
It's very disappointing. You know, definitely always want to beat those guys. Disappointing, but something you got to live with now. So
it's tough. You know, the bucket game it meant everything for the seniors. You know, this is our bowl game, but I'm proud of the guys for the way that they finished. I just hope they just take, the progress, from this season.
While that progress may not be evident in the record of the squad, this year's Indiana team was different from most others. A new dedication and work ethic was present throughout the team, a change that this year's senior class inspired.
And I think that's one thing this senior group really led in was character and attitude. I mean, before we would have guys miss workouts, not come to summer workouts. I mean, it was total dedication this year, and I would say that's probably one thing that mainly these seniors left behind.
I think everybody's just thinking about the seniors. I mean, the things they've done in the off-season to this team, I mean, they changed where our program's going.
We basically been trying to put this team back on the right path. I mean, it was really in shambles last year, and what we wanted to do was make sure everybody knew about how relentless and tough we were and how we would fight to the very end.
Fifth-year senior defensive end Jamie Curlew was named the team's most valuable player for the 2nd consecutive season. From Memorial Stadium, I'm Casey Richards, Hoosier Sports Night. The 2009 Indiana football season was a year of what-ifs. The Hoosiers blew large leads at Iowa, Northwestern, and Penn State, while losing winnable games at home to both Wisconsin and Purdue. Lucas Mayer has more from The Rock about what the Hoosiers learned from this season and how they plan to build off of those lessons.
The Old Oaken Bucket game was eerily similar to the Hoosiers season overall. It started with a great deal of promise, and as it unfolded, IU was continually dealt crushing defeats.
I'm really disappointed for the seniors because I know how hard they worked, and I know what all they went through in their careers here. And I also know they're really good people that are going to be successful when they leave here. But shoot, if you play at Indiana, you want to finish it with a win in the bucket.
During the 2009 season, the Hoosiers have prided themselves on improving work ethic. They believe that this is the first step to creating a winning football team at IU.
I think this year, especially with a rebuilding process, it's very important. Character's got to step in. I think that's one thing this senior group really led in was character and attitude. I mean, before we would have guys miss workouts, not come to summer workouts. I mean, it was total dedication this year.
With this team, we don't want them to continue where we left off right now. We want them to exceed that. We want the next time it comes camp to be even better than they are.
Inside, you see things that aren't, on the outside, all you see is what's played on Saturday and the final score, and that's obviously what we're judged on. But if you're asking me about making progress, it's what I see every day in the halls of this complex in terms of work ethic and accountability and leadership and all those things that you get tired of hearing me talk about. But those are the things you build a program on, and I know we're heading in the right direction.
The defense will be losing a key number of seniors, including Ray Fisher, Jamie Curlew, and Greg Middleton.
We're losing a really good group of seniors that played their last game tonight, and all for different reasons why I say they're such a great group of seniors. I feel like they're special all in their own way.
They changed where our program's going. I mean, like we had a lot of close losses that we should have pulled out, but I think if we end up pulling those out, everybody will be like, this is a great senior class. So I hope nobody overlooks them. I mean, it was all about them in the locker room.
The hot topic of the offseason will be the fate of head coach Bill Lynch. As the man in charge at IU, Lynch has gone 14-24 overall. The 2009 season ended up being a disappointment, but will be viewed as a growing pain for the Hoosiers. From Memorial Stadium, I'm Lucas Mayer, Hoosier Sports Night.
Well, that's all for this Hoosier Sports Night update. Have a fantastic Thanksgiving break. We'll be back with more full episodes of Hoosier Sports Night after the holiday.